I'm here to talk about media actually and millennials. So let's start with that. Media, right? See it everywhere, walking down the street. You most probably see it a lot when you're stuck in traffic along EDSA, waiting for the 2-hour drive. And there, if you have phones, it's an instantaneous one click away, right? If you have any of these social media apps, you're most probably contributing to media in one form or another. How great is it to be a millennial and to be alive at this day and age? So let's start this talk with this topic. This idea that media is the institution that trumps all other institutions. It is the institution that goes in between your education, rides over your family values, what the law says that you should do. So I want you guys to keep that in mind while we go through this talk, that media is the institution that trumps all other institutions. Okay? And I want you guys to link that idea to this idea. It's a quote by Oscar Wilde. Life imitates art far more than art imitates life. What do I mean by that? You guys ever notice those new hairstyles that celebrities are trending or they're wearing? The next day, everyone has the same hairdo. So you see that mostly in trends, right? That life imitates art. You see it in little girls trying to copy and be their favorite princess. Mostly, and actually in our lingo, you hear that more often than not, how life imitates art. Netflix and chill, we're most probably the only generation that understands what that means, aside from all of the LOL, SIA, BT dubs, all of those. So we're this generation. We're also the most viral, documented, and probably published and a generation there is to date. So thank you, Viber, and all the media teams out there who create apps to make it possible to publicly release our lives online. So this is me. We all contribute to media. I contribute to media by being a student jock at Monster Arts 93.1. As you can see over there, this is actually a photo taken by our annual photo shoot done every year. I was sporting that half-shaven side of my head, and my parents say I was going through a phase, but really I was just following the trend, you know. I was going through that Rihanna, Cher Lloyd kind of vibe, like feel the cool breeze hit your head. It's actually kind of nice. I'm taking up marketing. So I study at the University of Asia and the Pacific, and I study integrated marketing communications. I'm an incoming fourth-year student. And I was asked today to talk about media and millennials. I thought, wow, how great. I'm a millennial, and I somewhat understand how media is, and I've kind of studied it. So believe me, I'm no expert in a lot of things, but I have my observations, right? So there's so many things that you can talk about. I wanted to focus on my favorite topic. Hopefully you guys can relate to it also. Love and relationships. More specifically, how media has created this culture of romance for us. And it's now actually a culture of heartbreak. What do you mean by that, Julia? Are you saying that our culture of romance is not actually making us happy? Yeah, actually, that's exactly what I'm saying. Breakups. Let me break it down for you. Culture of romance is a culture of heartbreak. What do you mean, Julia? What do you mean by a culture of romance? What I mean by a culture of romance is that it's a culture that has helped us, or that we have created with the help of media, that is basically anything from the online dating sites that have created a venue for us to get closer to other people. It is the endless, emotion-laden thought catalog posts of, this is how you find the number, this is how you know he's the one, this is Mr. Right versus Mr. Wrong. You know, it's those Facebook posts that tell you, this is how you're gonna seduce the man and keep him forever in your life. It's that. That is basically, in a very, very small and short summary of what the culture of romance is. It includes the rules of dating. It includes the bro code. All of that misinterpreted and made up things that we take from media and we end up using in our lives. So, how is it a culture of heartbreak then? I have a few stories that I want to share with you that I kind of had to pull out from the cores of my soul that I had already kind of buried deep. This one, it starts by, so 2 things you need to know about me. I grew up in an all-girl Catholic school. I also grew up with the notion that guys only like white, pretty, skinny, princess-looking girls. All of the above, I was none. I was none of the above. I grew up with that complex in my mind. So the story starts out after my 3rd relationship. And, you know, in school, we had these these Eucharistic processions, right, or celebrations. And I was there, I was sitting beside my best friend, completely distracted, because kaka-break lang namin ng guy, and I was like, nagpamuni-muni, sorry Lord, I was like, why did he break up with me? And there I was. At the same time, I was also really focused on this girl that everyone was like, wow, why is she so nice? Like, she was basically the heartthrob of our group. And I was wondering, why? What is it about her, you know? Started to compare myself to her. Like, okay, so you're nice naman, Julia. She's nice. Okay, like, she's pretty. Yeah, she's really pretty. I'm okay. I'm pretty, I guess. Yeah, like, pwede na, right? Like, come on. And then I was really like thinking about it. I was like, why do all of these? I mean, hey, okay. I know I wasn't like the skinny girl that guys liked, and I know I had body, but she had a lot more body than I did. And I was like, but okay, so really, what is it about her that makes all the guys swoon to her and just, you know? And then it hit me. And then I turned to my best friend, I'm like, Bess, is it 'cause she's white? Literally, that was the only factor making me different from her. I'm morena, she's white. That had to be it. And my friend looks at me, and the priest is in the middle of Thanksgiving. And she's like, oh, Julia. She gives me like those pity eyes, like, it's okay. Okay lang yan. It'll get better. At that time, I didn't believe her, but now I kind of do. So that's what media, or parts of media, has given us. This peg. This, maybe for guys, it's like, I have to be macho. I have to be the guy who's cool, the laid-back jock, you know, so all the girls can like me. I have to be the one who's doing 100 bench presses while the pretty girl walks by, right? And then for the girls, it has to be, I have to have 36, 24, 36, you know, measurements for anyone to at least look my way. And then, you know, you start going into this world of depression, like, how come I'm not good enough? Is anyone ever going to like me? You guys relate at one point or another? Have you guys ever asked yourself these questions? And you start wondering, where is this coming from? Our culture of romance is a culture of heartbreak. This next story actually happened around checklist to check yes. So I started making a checklist around after my 6th relationship. You're wondering, why did I waited so long to start making a checklist? Why didn't you start at the 3rd one, right, Julia? Oh, gosh. So maybe the guys aren't so familiar with this concept, because I've asked some of my guy friends, oh, do you make a checklist? And sabi nila, checklist? No, pare, I just go with the flow, you know. Sino man nandun, oh, siya na. Okay. But for us girls, maybe you're more familiar with the concept. You know, you get out your pretty stationery, and then you write down first one, oh, he has to be God-fearing. Oh, he has to be loyal. He has to be funny. All that stuff. Okay. So I was like that, and I had a long list. And when I wrote that list, bigla lumutang si number 7. Out comes number 7. I'm like, oh, wow. Goes to mass every day. Okay, he's funny. He's my best friend. Okay, so, oh, check. Eventually started dating. He asked me to be his girlfriend. I said yes. And as you started to get to know each other, all those check marks that I was making started to disappear one by one. And you're like, oh, it's okay. Yeah, oh, he's not that either. Okay, whatever, mahal naman kita. And then you start wondering, wait a minute, why did I make a checklist to begin with? And at the end of the day, I'll still love you, no matter who you are, no matter your faults, no matter your weaknesses, right? Maybe sometimes it's not always that cheesy. Maybe other times it's like, I cannot take this anymore, and this is why we have to break up. So that's another aspect that I feel media has given us, these pseudo standards. And you don't just see this in checklists, okay? You see this in the expectations that you require from your significant other. If you guys are in relationships right now, if you ever had that feeling like, why aren't they texting me back? It's been 5 minutes. What are they doing? Like, don't they know that they're in a relationship? They have to text me back? Or there are those standards like, oh, pare, don't text her after the first date. You have to give her 3 days, or else she'll think you're too clingy. Ever heard that? Like, you ever do that? I've done it once in my life, so, But it's things like that kind of make you go into a frenzy. That kind of make you question, am I living my life properly? Is what I'm doing correct? What is correct? How should I date? It's just a roadblock of confusion and mishap. A culture of romance. It's a culture of heartbreak. There's actually a third party in your relationship. Media as the third party in your relationship, and I'll introduce this new idea to you. So, what is that? Just when you thought, kala mo yung kabit yung third party, you thought wrong. It's actually media. It's the thing that either makes or breaks your relationship. Either pushes it forward or derails it and causes it to falter. It's basically what you fall back onto, and you don't even realize it. Media is the institution that trumps all other institutions. It's ubiquitous. Life imitates art. Media as the third party in your relationship. So Julia, how has it become a culture? Well, what is a culture to begin with, right? It's that ecosystem where you add and you take from, and it's a cycle and goes around and around, and you don't even notice it. That's what a culture is. You don't notice that it's a culture, but you're in it and you're part of it and you're living it. But we have to ask ourselves, is this the right culture that we want to be in? Is this where we really want to be? Is this making us happy? Because if you're really happy, then why are we the hugot generation? Why do we have the hashtag walang forever, hashtag may forever? Why are we the torpe generation, constantly waiting for the other one to make a move? Why are we the bitter generation, the I don't give a generation? So this is where I am in my life. 7 relationships and a lot of contemplation later. I've learned 3 things. 1, that I'm worth it. Because I was born with dignity. I don't need to find my value in someone else. No one needs to tell me, Julia, you're beautiful, for me to know that I am. I don't need to wake up to the good morning texts or the ang ganda-ganda mo naman, you're my sweetie. No. I wake up to that just by waking up, opening my eyes, and smiling. 2, I was born to love and to be loved. How great is that, to know how much love you can give away? This is actually something I learned from my last relationship. How much I could love despite how hard it was to love you. A lot of the times, media teaches you how to love, right? This is how you love. But does it teach us how to receive love? I've learned that I have so much love to give away. That would be a waste to just save it for one person. In fact, you can love with the kind of love you have a lot of other people. And why? Why dignity? Why the freedom to love and to be loved? Because I am human. We are all human. And we all have that capacity to love, to be loved, and that self-worth that you don't need to find in another person. And in fact, the heartbreak didn't start with my first breakup. No. That heartbreak started when something told me that I needed to find who I was and my self-worth in something else, in someone else. Because when we start stripping down the pegs and the images and the stereotypes the media has created for us, then we can start becoming human. So maybe it's about switching up the question, Maybe it isn't how can we find love, when can we find love, where, who can I love? No, maybe the real question is, how can I learn how to be a better human being? How can I humanize love? How can I be human? And is the kind of media I'm taking in really adding to my understanding of what it is to be human? So, there. Media is everywhere. We can't escape it. I was actually reading a Harvard journal for a marketing class, and it was saying that, media is so big, the monster is so huge, you can't fight it. You can join it. But I don't think we're ready to join it just yet. I think what we need to do is to choose what we take in now. So if you ever come across kind of media that takes you away from what it is to be human, that adds to your worth, that takes away from your worth, that trivializes the human dignity, that trivializes love, then you can switch off the TV. You can lower the volume. You can close the book. Because once we start cutting ourselves loose from the problem, then we can be part of the solution. And this is what I think we should focus on. Because we are headed for amazing and beautiful and human relationships. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Julia Winternitz.